So this is my, y'all don't even know where I'm at, but my 6-month belly. So I think I'm 25 weeks now. So that's the front. My belly has never looked like that before. You usually can see my navel. That's so weird when I look at that through shirts. But yep, that's my 25-week belly. I've always carried small, so from this point it's just gonna, I don't know, get tighter. Okay, so I wanted to, hopefully y'all can hear me pretty good. Oh, let me just adjust a little bit. So I'm sitting in my bedroom, so I don't know if I should make this closer or not, but I want to do an update of like my pregnancy. I could get these, probably should open the blinds. Okay, so I've adjusted. So I want to do a pregnancy update of my 5th pregnancy. Just kind of share my story of how I got pregnant, what I've been, what's been going on, what I've been using to kind of like my symptoms and stuff like that. So yeah. So I am currently, I think, 25 weeks pregnant. And why am I not so sure about it? Because it took me a while to like keep track of my pregnancy, because I found out that I got pregnant earlier than I thought I did. So here's the story with that, which will lead into like the whole plan B situation and why you have to be very careful with it. And if you're gonna depend on it as your birth control, you have to be very careful. So I took a pregnancy test in May. I actually took it the day before Mother's Day this year. And I was hesitating. I took like a week or two before I took a test, even though I figured that I was, because I missed my cycle. But I just wanted to be in denial for like 2 weeks. So when I took the test, I cried, because I was out, like, we've been in Georgia for 6 months. We moved from Georgia, from Florida to Georgia. And I cried because I was just like, oh my God, we just moved to Georgia and I'm pregnant. This was not a part of the plan. Like, you know, after you have kids, you're just like, okay, I'm about to enjoy my life. I don't want no more kids. We were actually good because I just had my daughter Serenity in February of 2020. So our kids had never been a year apart, and they were always 3 years apart, and that was not planned. But here I am, pregnant, and I was just like, oh my God. But I knew it because these were hurting really bad, and if you've been pregnant before, you already know. So my boobs are hurting really bad, and I knew it. I just didn't want to take a test. So after that, I think I took another, probably that was May 8th. So I probably didn't start going into, I didn't go see an OB to confirm until probably the last part of May or early part of June. I just wasn't in a rush. I was very sick. I had morning sickness. I was very sick and tired. Like I couldn't do anything. And that's how it was with my last baby. And with all my girls, I had morning sickness. With my son, my oldest, I did not have morning sickness with him. My pregnancy was so smooth with him. And it was kind of smooth with, well, that's probably how we knew we were going to have a girl. Because I had bad morning sickness. I was just really, really tired. Really bad morning sickness this time around. Like, I was like, oh my God, I cannot do this. Not only that, still being kind of new in a new state, it was already kind of, overwhelming to move here. So yeah, a kid was not playing. And I told my husband, because this had always happened with my girls, every time we moved, I got pregnant. So that means we need to stop moving. Our next move is going to be like our home for a few years. And I think I taught that on myself because this is going to be a chit chat, y'all, about pregnancies and stuff. So when we moved to our apartment in 2018, I had got pregnant twice. So I got pregnant early 2019. No, late 2018, and I had a miscarriage January 2019. And then I got pregnant again, and I think in April. So I had my daughter February 2020. With my 5-year-old, we had moved in with my parents for a while, and I got pregnant there. And with my daughter Cadence, we moved into a home, and I got pregnant with her. So we got to stop these moves. But anyway, so when I found out I was pregnant in May this year, I was like, okay, cool. I'm only a few weeks. But then when I went to the doctor, they asked the last date of your cycle, blah, blah, blah. And I'm telling them, and they're measuring the baby. The baby is actually measuring like way ahead of when I found out I was pregnant. And for a while I was confused. And then I think when I finally went and they told me like the your the last date of your cycle says that you are like 8 or 9 weeks, but the baby is measuring 12 weeks. So I really had to think about it, like really, really think about it. And I had to have gotten pregnant as soon as we moved here. We moved here February 28th. The next day was March 1st. I had to have gotten pregnant in March. And I did not know, because I was still taking Plan Bs. So if you're taking a Plan B, you have to be very, very careful with it, because I had started depending on the Plan Bs as my birth control, because I did not want to get on any other type of birth control at all. Like I was just over birth control. The side effects, all of that stuff, I just didn't want to deal with it anymore. And the last birth control that I had was the Nexplanon in my arm, which I have a video on my channel about it and why I took it out. I had horrible side effects. My periods were always irregular, and my mind, it was just affecting every part of me. So I was like, no, I'm finna go get this out. I had a plan to keep it in for at least, I think 3 years is how long you can keep it in. I did have a plan to keep it in for 3 years, and then the side effects were just horrible. And if you're a married woman, irregular periods, 2 periods a month, okay, it sucked. And then I think before that I was on pills, and I was on low hormone pills because I was breastfeeding. And when I stopped those, I moved into the Nexplanon, and I just didn't like it. If I had a choice, I think I would stay on the low hormone pills that they give you when you're breastfeeding. I think I would try to stay on those, but they try to convince you and say you have to take it at the same time every day. You can't miss any, because it's a low hormone. So it kind of scared me, and I went and got the Nexplanon, and I hated the Nexplanon. So I wasn't on any birth control after getting the Nexplanon. And once I had that taken out, that's when I got pregnant in late 2018, and then got pregnant with my daughter Serenity. And honestly, it was because I didn't have a plan. Like, I didn't have a plan to not get pregnant. So I don't know why I didn't think of Plan B's at that time either. Plan B was just never a thought. So after I had my daughter Serenity last year in February, I chose to use Plan B's. And it had been working, obviously, for um, a year. And yeah, we moved in February. So she had just turned 1, and then we moved here. So I honestly think the effects of the Plan B didn't work once we moved here. I think it has to do with stress and a lot of overwhelm, and I lost track of a lot of things because of this move. And so I would take the pill too late, and I think that's what happened. Like I think I waited too long, and I missed the time, not missed the time frame, but I took it too late, because you're supposed to take a Plan B within, I think it's 72 hours, but you really want to take it within the first 24 hours of unprotected sex, right? So I believe that I missed, like I took it too late in those 3 days, and that's how I got caught up. Plus it was a lot going on to make this move, mentally, emotionally, and I know that all played a part in it. So, but I had a plan, because I was keeping track. I had an app tracking my ovulation days, which were very accurate. But then the pill started to get thrown off once I moved here. Even my periods, they were just, I don't know. Plan B is not a long-term thing, but I was using it as a long-term thing. So just be very careful if you're taking Plan B and you want it to be long-term. If you're ever going through a really stressful time, don't drink, don't smoke, don't nothing with it either. Don't do any of that, okay? So that's how I ended up getting pregnant. Will I do Plan B again? I don't think so. After having this baby, I don't think I'm gonna use Plan B. I may try the low hormone pills, because I do plan to breastfeed at like longer than I've ever gone with this baby. So y'all, COVID just got me like, there's a lot of things that I just have to push through and get over myself. So I do want to breastfeed this baby for as long as I possibly can. I'm also planning to have a natural birth as well, probably in a hospital. I want to try a home birth, and I'm really aiming for this to be our last kid. So I just want to do all the things that I have a desire to do, that I wanted to do with the other babies. Just my body. I want my body to do what it was made to do. So that's that. Another thing that I started doing, like the moment I found out I was pregnant, I went and started to see a chiropractor. And it honestly was not for my pregnancy, but I was having pain in like my lower back. It's not even my back, it's more my hip on the right side. I don't know where it came from, but it was very aggravating. It was like a very minor pain that was just annoying, and it did hurt, and it was getting aggravating. So this ad for a chiropractor popped up on my Facebook page, who is now my chiropractor, Dr. Crump. And they had like a special, and I went in and I was like, okay, I think this is what I need, because I didn't know what else to do. You can stretch all you want, but I had never thought about a chiropractor. So I started to go see her for this, and I did find out like my hips are not, they're not straight. They're like this, and that's what causes the pain. Plus I have like some things that are not in alignment as far as in like my spine and my back, something like that. So I started to go see her, and then I figured out that it helped with my morning sickness, like my nausea and stuff like that. And I was like, wow. And it made me look up the benefits of a chiropractor while you're pregnant. And I had never thought of that. I don't learn this stuff. This is how I'm learning that, like preparing for birth, like getting an educator is very important, because I had never done that with any of my babies. But having someone, so it's interesting that with my 5th child, I feel like I'm doing this for the first time. because having a chiropractor, it helps with morning sickness, the nausea. Um, it helps with keeping your body aligned. So when you like, it helps the baby stay in alignment. So as you're getting closer to birth, your body is more prepared to labor and do what it's supposed to do, and also helps the baby come out smoother. So I have been going to, y'all, if you don't do anything else for your pregnancy, go see a chiropractor. Like, it is life changing, because you know all of the things that we go through when we're pregnant, like the pain, the discomfort, the morning sickness and stuff like that. And honestly, it helped tremendously with my morning sickness. It actually like took it away. And I'm so glad I did that. So I still go see her, and I think I'm gonna like double the times that I go to see her in my last 2 months, because I go twice. Well, actually, I was going once a week, and then I kind of narrowed it down to twice a month because I had a lot of stuff going. It was summertime, school, traveling. And so I'm going to kind of bump it up in the last few weeks of pregnancy to keep my body, because I'm praying for like supernatural birth in Jesus' name, because I want to go natural. I'm feeling all of this pain and going through a full labor to 10 centimeters for the first time. I'm doing all of this, so trying to do as much as I can to be prepared. So go see a chiropractor if you're pregnant. Please start early. Like, don't wait. It helps tremendously. The next thing is the vitamins that I take. So because I was so sick in the beginning, I didn't take a vitamin for like the first 2 months or so. And then, well, obviously I didn't know I was pregnant for the first 2 months. So once I found out and started getting everything going, I'm still mind blown by that. But I started with a liquid vitamin by Pink Stork. And that was working out good in the beginning. And y'all. That was working out good in the beginning with the liquid vitamin. And then after a while, I just could not handle. Me and my husband was really sick in August. And so once I was trying to still take it while I was sick. We were sick for like 3 weeks. And it just wasn't working. Like, the taste started to get to me. The taste of the vitamin and the liquid, and just, I don't know. When you're pregnant, there's certain things that you just can't do. And after a while, the taste of the liquid vitamin just didn't work for me anymore, and I can't take it. So I have like a pretty much full bottle in my refrigerator. I was also taking extra the liquid folate. I was taking that by Pink Stork. I still do, but I still struggle with the liquid intake. And I was also taking iron because I had very low iron after getting, going to the doctor. But so now I have switched. I also tried a gummy prenatal. Couldn't do that either. So I have switched back to doing vitamins. So I just bought the New Chapter, the brand New Chapter. I just bought their prenatal vitamins, which was the ones that I was going to originally start with in the beginning, but I couldn't handle taking pills. So I'm starting that today. I also bought some vitamin D3, and I'm still going to take the iron once or twice a week. So if you're a person, like, you just have to know what you can handle at the time. So now that I'm about to go into my since I'm about to go into my third trimester, now I'm switching back to vitamins because that's what I can handle. I can't handle the liquid vitamin anymore. But in the first few months, I could only do liquid. I couldn't take anything. So you have to know what works for you, but don't just choose to take nothing at all. Like, you have to take something that's good for you, because once I started taking the liquid vitamins, I noticed the change in my body from being sick and all this stuff. My body was very weak. I was always tired, and I noticed that the vitamins gave me that energy on top of going to the chiropractor. Going to the chiropractor gave me like extra energy to be able to move around and do a lot instead of just laying around all day. So, do that if you can. And what else have I been doing in these first 2 trimesters? I'm currently looking for a doula or a midwife. Honestly, because I love Jesus, I don't really want to deal with anybody that's into like the, you know, crystal healing and people that capsulate placentas and all. I just don't believe in that stuff. I don't believe that we're supposed to consume flesh. And when I see people encapsulating their placentas and saying it does all of these benefits and this for you, and I'm like, no, because I'm taking a pill with blood in it. Like, no. And it just does not, it's not right to me. And I'm like, where in the Bible does it say, you can eat your own placenta? I'll discard that. But I don't necessarily, I don't think I really want to work with anybody that does placenta encapsulation. I believe that they have a belief that just does not align with what me and my husband believe in. And so because they deal with stuff like that, I don't want them in my like atmosphere environment. Because usually all of the doulas or midwives that I've looked up that does placenta encapsulation, they are into like energy healing and crystal healing and the what's the other things? Gosh, I can't even think of the word. The herbs and stuff, but they're into herbs in a different way. Not like, I know the earth is great and gives us great things, but the way that they're into herbs and all that stuff, that's not what I want. So I would be doing my spirit a injustice if I dealt with a doula like that. And I'm not knocking anybody, but that is just my beliefs. So I've been looking for a midwife or a doula that is Christian. They believe in God, believe in Jesus. And honestly, here in Georgia, I've been having a hard time doing that because everybody that I've run into, they are into the crystal healing and the placenta encapsulation and all of this stuff. So I don't want any connection with that. I'm also deciding if I'm trying to figure out how I can have a home birth, or I wanted to have a home birth. That's, I honestly do not want to have the baby in the hospital because of just what's going on in the world today. I really don't. That's why I'm all for this natural birth and kind of prepping my mind and body for it, because I just don't want the IVs and all the medicine and stuff like that. And I also don't want to feel even though I want to go natural, they're still gonna inject me with IVs and stuff, and that may push me more to want to just give up and have the medicine because I've done it 4 times already. I could be just like, no, give me the epidural, please, give me something, please. And I don't want those distractions around me. I just want to be able to go natural and push through knowing that I don't have these things as an option. But it also lets me know that I have to have a very strong mindset to push through and say, no, I don't want an epidural. I don't want any pain medicine. I don't want this because this is what my body is made to do, even if I'm in the hospital. And as of right now, it is looking like I may have to have the baby in the hospital because they have me at high risk, and midwives and doulas don't deal with high risk pregnancies. So even if I found a natural birthing center, they still probably wouldn't accept me unless I can. So I'm working on figuring out how I can have something done where the doctors can take me off of high risk, because I don't want that. I just really don't want to be in a hospital. I just really want to have an environment of peace and comfort and to be able to labor how I want, because all of my other pregnancies and because of being uneducated, you're not really supposed to be on your back laying flat when you're giving birth. You're supposed to be in positions that allows the baby to come down. So I do want to be able to stand or get however I need to get to have the baby. I just don't want to be attached to all the IVs and in a hospital bed, and then I get an epidural, and because I'm paralyzed from the waist down, I can't get up and walk around. I can't do nothing. I just really want to experience the real birthing process. So I'm currently working on that. I think I haven't found a midwife. I have one in mind, but she's like an hour away from where I'm at. And so even if I do have to have the baby in the hospital, I want to have somebody come in the hospital and kind of coach me through. But I'm also working on having a birthing plan written out, so me and my husband can have it, and just a lot of education this pregnancy. A lot. I mean, my last pregnancy, I was just, go through the pregnancy and just go have the baby and get an epidural and call it a day. But this time around, I have really been educating myself, about having a natural birth the way that it's intended to be. So I've been working on that, and I'll keep y'all updated with that. I've been watching quite a few videos on YouTube, though, about natural births. I've been watching most of the positive natural births. I've been watching most of the ones where they are having their baby at home or in a birthing center. I haven't really watched any where they had their babies in a hospital. But I really don't want the environment of, having a baby in the hospital and nurses and all this stuff, and they checking on you. And yeah, I've had that. Don't want it anymore. So I guess that's really my update of my first and second trimester and how everything is going for me so far. Also, right now, I do a lot of stretching. I want to work out, y'all, but I just don't. I gained, once we moved to Georgia, this is how I know stress and overwhelm too. I gained like 14 or 15 pounds when we moved here. And so now I was carrying that weight too, along with being pregnant. This is the heaviest I have ever been in a pregnancy. Currently, I weigh 151 when I just went to the doctor, but when I started, I was at like 155. That's the heaviest I had ever been. So I was already weighing like 145, and I hadn't been that weight in years. I'm usually like 130. So yeah, I gained 10 to 15 pounds and then got pregnant. And because I was pregnant earlier than I thought, that's probably why I put on that weight like that and didn't even realize. But so I was also carrying that weight, and my body is not used to carrying over 100 and I would say 35 pounds. So after I have this baby, I definitely got to go back down to around that weight because that's what makes me comfortable. But that's about it. That's an update on my first and second trimester, and that is it because I'm gonna go eat now. Remember to glow, remember to affirm yourself, remember to do what makes you happy because you can't pour from an empty cup. I am let me see, some other things I do want to talk about is like the prenatal care here, which has been going very well. Very different from where I lived in Florida. Yeah, it's really good. So I'll probably do a video about that. But I'm out, y'all.